Here's the last video on touching on the end of May, as well as showing you a little bit about the reconciliation and how we head into crushing our debt. So as you saw in the last video, John and Sarah now were successfully able to pay off their first loan, which was their credit card loan. So now what I like to do is just highlight that in green. What's owed? Nothing. Paid in full. Payment is now nothing. So you can get rid of that payment, and the interest is nothing, so you can get rid of that interest as well. So realistically, that's gone. That's paid in full, and then you would end up reprioritizing what your next payments are, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Now in May, we made an overpayment of $600. So you'll see with Sarah and John's current debt of $41,300 now, if they were able to make an additional overpayment of $600 each month, they'll actually have all of their debt paid off in a little under 2.5 years, in 29 months to be exact. So that becomes very encouraging very quick. If I were to tell you that you had $41,000 in debt and you could pay it off in 2.5 years, I would bet you would jump all over that. So this is again just the process that helps get you there. So to finish up the month, we finish up again where we're now on May 31st. So we're at the end of May. This is looking at our year, what we have in our checking account. If you don't end up remembering, you just type these in here and copy, or you can just type them in. This is what is now in our checking accounts. Our savings account for college, that hasn't changed. The second checking account, we haven't opened that up yet. The investments, we now have, I believe it was $76 and some change, $76.27. And again, you would see it, so you'd be able to type that in. And again, the health savings and all these things, like they might change over time. I just updated them as might be normal. And that would be now the end of your month. So the last thing to remind you of, I touched on this before, that on these three yellow boxes, we are now at the end of May. So May is the 5th month. We started in January. You would simply click up here, backspace, type in the number 5. That'll update that for you. And you do that 3 times because we're still paying off debt. And now we have that updated, and you just want to update how much debt you have off because we just actually paid off one of our loans, so it's $41,300. So you can either just go up here and change that to a 3, or you can just type it in negative 41,300. So you'll see again, just in a few months, John and Sarah's net worth has gone up $11,000, and it's starting to pay off pretty well. So they've paid off about $4,700 in debt, about $940 per month, and they have $2,200 that they have received in net every single month. So again, this is why you're able to track this stuff. It makes it kind of fun. They started out with $46,000 in the first place. Just having it down to 41,300 is nice, and that's before even putting in what they paid in full in that 5th month. So if this was even the 5th month, it was more likely going to be, because it's the end of May, they made the $200 payment, they made the $100 payment here, which would bring that down. They made the $100 payment here because it's set in their budget. They made the $100 payment here. And again, we're just playing with all of this. It's going to be different from time to time. I just want to see you, show you how to navigate through these things. So that would be, $16,375 left on the car after making the car payment. So the true debt would probably be $40,375. So we would type that in here, $40,375. what you see is about $1,125 a month on average that they've paid off towards their debt. As soon as they got to that, remember the budget, most of their debt was $1,025. So just alone, very, very quickly, that starts going up as soon as you pay off another loan. So it's that easy. And you take those numbers for the LifeTrack, copy them, put them here, jump back to the track, copy what's left on debt, type it here, and same thing with these three. You're now in the 5th month. So change those 4s to 5s. And you're on your way. You would update your credit score and all those other extra things that you want to do if you really want to get into it like we do. So again, we just do that month after month. You would start a new balance for June, a new balance for May, and that, or new balance and new receipts for June. And you just continue to do that now from here on out. So just keeping in mind that your 4705 will now become your net. So just using this as one final example, let's just say we already were in June, and at the beginning of June, I'll just type it here just as an example. At the beginning of June, we know we had 4715.20 at the beginning of the month, and at the end of the month, you end up having something like, I don't know, $5,400 at the end of the month. You've now netted $684.80. So that is what you would type in right here. Or sorry, you netted $684. So you actually would then just come here and you go equals the $5,400 minus what your zero is going to be. And it would be $695 that you work with. And of course you can do that with a calculator too if you wanted. But that would be an additional, at the end of June, $600 that you pay as an overpayment towards your next student loan or your car payment or whatever you have prioritized. So you can see how quickly this starts to add up. Again, a lot of information, short period of time. If you end up having any questions, feel free to ask.